no way to conduct yourself as a man. So learn these principles as a teenager and they will carry through for the rest of your life. Especially if you stack them up with all these other life lessons, then you are going to be a man of honor. You are going to be a man that other women respect. And I can tell you that that goes very far in life. The next thing is I want you to enjoy the journey. I want you to remember that these are your glory years. These years right now as a teenager, and especially in your early teens even, these are the years you're going to look back at with fondness, because these are the years that you built. You built your character, the person that you are going to become. I can tell you right now that my most fond years were probably the year before I started my first ever business when I was 16, and the couple years after that. The years where things were tough, they were not easy. I was making sacrifices. It was difficult at the time, but I have so much appreciation for it now. So please, if things are difficult or they're hard right now, take a moment to appreciate it, because these are the years you're going to be talking about in a decade, 2 decades. When you're sitting outside with your boys at your beachfront property, having a cigar or drinking a glass of wine and reminiscing about the good times. Now, if you're in your teens, I want you to start investing now. And I don't care if it's $10 a week or $30 a week or $50, whatever you can do, even if it's $5 a week. It's not about the money, and it's not about, the eighth wonder of the world, compound interest, because I'll be honest, at this age, it really doesn't matter. And hopefully in a few years, you should be making a very, very good income that far exceeds anything you could ever make from investing. All it comes down to is simply good habits. I do not believe that if you won't invest $10 when you make $100 a month, that you'll invest $10,000 when you make $100,000 a month. And if those numbers sound crazy to you, I can't imagine ever making $100,000 a month, all this, just park that in your mind for now, okay? You don't need to worry about that. But I'm telling you, it's a very, very strong reality. If you're consuming content like this and you dedicate your life to building over the next year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, I can tell you numbers like that are almost guaranteed in your future. But I know for a lot of you, that will overwhelm you. So just park that to the side for right now. If you make $100 a month, just invest 10. It's simply having good financial hygiene and building those good habits early on. The next life lesson, if you're a teenager, is build high income skills. A high income skill could be content creation, it could be sales, it could be copywriting. These are things that no matter what, I don't care if the year is 2023, I don't care if the year is 2040, these will always be important skills, and these will always be highly paid skills. So please do not get caught up in short-term fads, short-term trends. Ask yourself, if I learn this skill today, will this pay dividends in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? And if the answer is yes, well then maybe you should consider learning it. Now, the next life lesson, this especially applies to men, is focus on building muscle and your physique. Especially between the ages of 16 to 21, 22, if you can get in the gym, if you can do exercise, whether that's a standard sort of bro split routine, whether that's powerlifting, whether that's CrossFit, whatever you decide to do, building muscle at a young age, you're gonna have that mind-muscle connection, and you're gonna keep that on, and you're gonna carry that through for the rest of your life. I started going to the gym when I was 14. Some would argue that that was even too young, but I'm very happy that I did, and I'm very happy that I built up muscle in my teenage years, because now I do a lot of tennis, I do a lot of running, some boxing, and I never really worry about losing muscle or my physique or anything like that, because I had more than half a decade of nurturing that. So especially for men, as our testosterone starts to decline in our mid-20s onwards, use these years to your advantage. Lift heavy things, push yourself, train hard, because you have this incredible advantage and will carry through for the rest of your life. The next life lesson is be confident, but acknowledge your age and your lack of wisdom. I started my first business when I was 16 years old. And by the way, this wasn't a business where I was hiding behind a computer. I was front facing with clients. I was pitching multi-million-dollar businesses. So I had to walk in with confidence. I had to be presentable. I had to talk. I had to communicate clearly. I had to be confident regardless of my age. And I had to do that front facing publicly to potential clients. But at home, when I was alone, in solace, in peace, I understood. And even me sat here at 23, hundreds of thousands of people, even millions of people around the world, looking at me as a hero, an inspiration, a mentor. I understand that at the end of the day, I still have so much to learn. I understand that, of course, I got started so early. I had my first employee at the age of 17. I dropped out of school at the age of 17 to support me and my mom. I've experienced so much by this age, but no matter what, wisdom is solidified through decades and decades of experience. So if you are in your teenage years, be confident. Walk through life with confidence. Don't let your age, especially when it comes to business and your career, don't let that weigh you down. But in moments of peace and quiet, acknowledge that no matter how well you're doing, wisdom is only truly forged through decades and decades of life experience. The next life lesson, and once again this relates specifically to the men, is get comfortable talking to girls. Listen, of course, I believe that as a teenager and in your early to mid 20s, those are your years to build. But it doesn't matter if you're even 15. Get used to speaking to girls. Don't let yourself become one of these 25-year-olds that goes on to become a multimillionaire but is just creepy around women. Get comfortable speaking to girls.